Hey, what's up guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome back to the episode of playing Gemstone Legends. So a brand new faction was introduced today called Aquatic Kingdom. And alongside with that, there is 2 event heroes that were introduced and also a new event called the Power of Aquatic Kingdom where you could win a legendary hero, Enchanted Pearl. So what I wanted to do today is talk about basically all things Aquatic Kingdom, right? I have both of the event heroes. I'm going to talk about how they work, show you, how you can gear them, and also talk a little bit about the Relic so that you can decide for yourself whether this is going to be worth your investment. And I do also want to call out one thing, and that, this is probably the same sentiment that a lot of people have, and that is, the last time that we had a new faction, which is the Far East faction, I'm discounting the Stellar Dynasty one, but with Far East, we had legendary heroes as well as epic heroes, and that was very exciting. There's new epic heroes, new rare heroes, and I'm sure we're going to see them soon, right, in the Aquatic Kingdom. But right now there's just the legendary heroes, and it's the hardest hero to obtain, right? And that wouldn't be so bad, but I think what a lot of people are feeling is that they're sort of feeling priced out of competing in this particular event. And that is because one of the very first things that you need to do is actually obtain a hero from the Aquatic Kingdom. Right, so if at least there was an epic hero available here, then I think that would have made it a lot more accessible to the general player base. But instead, right now, we only have 2 legendary heroes to select from. And so it is going to be resource intensive for any of you who may want to try and go after it. So I'm going to try and do my best to help you see the heroes in action, also the Relic itself, to see if this is going to be worth it for you right now to try and obtain. Okay, so having said all of that, let's jump into the video and let's talk about both heroes and see how they work.
Ooh, that sugar sweet, you got what I need, sipping on the potion, all that good emotion.
All right, so we'll get started with Enchanted Pearl since this is the reward for the event Power of Aquatic Kingdom. So let's talk about the Relic itself and then help you see whether this is worth it for you. At level 0, you get defense and HP increase by 5%, and also guarantees that you'll remove 1 negative stat from the hero, and you also get 5 mana. So this is a little bit of a cleansing and also mana generating relic, and the hero will gain the most benefit from it if the hero can go fast, so that there's more turns to get the mana. And at level 4, all of your stats increase, so defense and the HP goes up by 10%. You can remove 2 negative stats, and then you get 10 mana instead of just 5. Okay, and there is a requirement that you can only be in the Aquatic Kingdom faction, so only one of the 2 heroes can get it. So question is this going to be the kind of relic that's going to make a difference for you? Well, if you don't get the heroes, then it doesn't make sense for you to get this relic at this point. It's really not going to make a big of a difference. And personally, I currently have it equipped on Scandix. I'm going to talk about the hero next, but I don't think that it's going to be the type of relic that actually helps him as much, to be honest. And I think that there's probably going to be future heroes in the Aquatic Kingdom faction that might benefit from him. But at this point in time, there's actually better relics that will fit him better. So for example, he can equip the Sign of Hope. He can also equip Magma Cloak, both of which are going to be more superior, in my opinion, for him to equip. But if you don't have either of those that I mentioned, then this would be the right relic for Scandix. So to summarize real quick, if you have Scandix, this relic is going to be really good for him, especially if you don't have anything else. Okay, so they do go hand in hand. But if you have better relics that I just showed, then I think that this can be saved for future purposes. Now that we're on Scandix, let's go ahead and talk about his skills and his loadout so we can see him in action. All right, so we're going to talk about the hero Scandix now and the loadout, but I do want to say one thing, and that is I'm going to try and take a little bit more time to explain these heroes because they're brand new. There's some new mechanics. I've already tried recording a couple times and to see how long it's going to take. So do bear with me. I'm going to try and go through this as quickly as I can, and then we'll jump into the fight to show you how he works. Okay, starting with the special ability, Scandix is a healer, and he is a great healer. All right, he restores 15% target max HP. That's pretty standard that you see in a lot of healers. But then he'll additionally restore another 15% to 2 random allies. All right, so in a team of 5, 2 of your allies are going to get up to 30% heal. That is a huge amount for an AoE. And then you also grant increased defense so that you help all of your allies survive. If you can get up to level 7, now the heal goes up to 25% to begin with, and then 35% afterwards for 2 of your random allies. You jump from 30% for 2 of your allies at level 1 to 60%. Okay, this is an absolutely humongous amount of heal that is going to almost guarantee that as long as they don't kill you outright, you can fully heal your allies as as long as the fight goes. All right, so it is going to make it difficult for your team to be taken down because of this amount of heal. Now let's take a look at the passive ability. And when I read the passive ability, I was curious whether or not this is something that is exclusive to the Aquatic Kingdom heroes or not. The very bottom line says attack and defense increase by 5% every 5 turns. It effectively means 1% increase in attack and defense for every turn you have. Notice that there's no maximum here. So theoretically, this could go on forever, but the game does not allow you to play unlimited turns. You do have a cap at 200 now, no matter where you fight before you lose. And so theoretically, that means you could go up to 200% attack and defense increase. Okay, so that means no matter who you are, you're going to get a lot more attack value and you're going to be a lot harder to kill. And so I think that's actually really great. So you have to think about this now for how you build him. What I will say is his other ability, for passive, like removes decreased attack from allies, and also grants an fortify for single ally when an ally is killed. That's okay, but it only really is interesting when you get to level 3. Where at the beginning of his turn, he'll remove both decreased attack and decreased defense. Because decreased defense is the only one I think that actually really makes a difference here. Generally, you don't see anything else in Arena. Okay, you don't really see people use decreased attack, and you don't really see people use decreased critical damage. I mean, it does make it harder for you to deal a lot of damage, but decreased defense is the one that actually makes sense for you to try and dispel. And so I would say if you were going to go for it, level 3 is really all you need to get to. And on top of that, what I will say is, in general, Scandix is a hero where I think even if you just have everything at level 1, he is still phenomenal to use. Not a hero that absolutely requires you to level up all the way in order to find useful. He's going to be useful at level 1. Okay? Now let's go over the gears real quick. Name of the game for Scandix, just HP. HP all the way through. You're already getting defense increase in his passive ability, so you can just focus on HP as much as possible. I mean, it doesn't hurt to have more defense, right? But in this particular case, because he has attack increase as well, I chose to go after a little bit of critical rate as well. So you can see he's at 82 and 102% critical damage, because I'm pumping into health and I'm not pumping into speed. I don't need him fast, and I'm not pumping into defense. So what else is there? Well, critical rate and critical damage seem to be the one that makes most sense, right? So wherever you can, put in some as much health as you could, and also get in some defense, and you should be good to go. I'm at 66,000 for health and 3,500 for defense. All right. So now, having explained all of this, let's see how he works in a fight. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into an Inferno battle so that we can sort of see what's going on. I have Martin as our leader for health. I just want to see, I just want to show you Scandix's ability in action, okay? And what we're going to do is we're actually going to start by taking a look at his stats. Okay, so at the beginning, his attack is at 303 and his defense is at 3849. And so let's take a look and see again the stats. Okay, 3003 is the beginning. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just try and get things going here. We'll probably lose some heroes. That's okay. The point here is to see where we are after 5 turns, and also to see Scandix's ability in action. So we do lose Martin here, but we will be able to heal Balfour. Okay, so we're at turn 6. Take a look at his stats. His attack has now gone up to 3134, and his defense has now gone up to 4027. This is insane. Like, his attack is just going to keep going up, okay? And he is going to just get harder and harder to kill as time goes on. And then let's go ahead and use his ability to heal. So you can see Balfour actually benefited, okay, from 3 heals instead of 2. Remember, it's 2 random allies, and I guess it means that a single ally could potentially get all of the additional heals. So Balfour actually got 27,000 heals. I actually didn't see this before, and so now you see this in action. When you activate Scandix's ability, you could theoretically use all 3 heals on a single hero, but every hero will get a heal. They'll guarantee at level 1 15% heal, and that means at level 1 hero could potentially get up to 45% heal, and at level 7 one particular ally could potentially get up to 110% heal, because 35 times 3. Okay, and so now you can see the 2 random allies could all mean the same one. I didn't actually know about this, so it's good that we caught this on camera. All right, so that's Scandix, his abilities. You can see what's going on with his turns, right? So this is crazy, right? He's got an increase in his defense as well, and when you increase his defense based on his skill, it's going to make him really tanky, really hard to kill, and so I think that's that's him in action. And then I mentioned to you before, the Enchanted Pearl, probably not the, there's others, like I said, but in this case, it's just going to help give him a little bit more health and a little bit more mana at the beginning of his turn. So we'll just kind of go again just to see this in action. At the beginning of his turn, he's going to get 8 mana, right? So that's pretty much it, all right? So that's Scandix. Let's move on and talk about the other hero now. All right, so let's go ahead and switch gears to talk about Trkys, who is arguably like my favorite hero right now in the game. I kid you not. When I was reading through her skills, I nearly lost my mind. It was insane, sort of like what I was reading. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about her skills, and I'll tell you why I was reacting this way. So her special ability is actually pretty standard in that you'll see this in any of the other heroes. She does give herself mana breath because she's a mage, so that she can actually get more mana gain. So mana breath gives you a 4 additional mana gain. Makes it easier for you to gain your mana. And then she'll deal damage to a single enemy, 225% attack at max level, 175 at level 1. And then there's also a 100% chance to inflict burn on all enemies. Okay, for 2 turns at max level and then 1 turn at level 1. Pretty standard stuff, but the power comes from her passive ability. Okay, first thing is this is very much the same as what Lurkar has, in that she'll deal more damage to enemies affected by burn status. 35% at level 1, level 7, and just 10% at level 1. So a pretty significant difference. Remember, damage increase has more of an effect than just pure attack increase. So 35% like more damage compared to 10% more damage actually is a lot more significant than just like, a 25% attack. In fact, it's even more impressive than maybe like 100% attack. Okay. So this is pretty huge. And then if you keep looking, she does also have a chance to inflict burn if you can kill an enemy. So every time you kill an enemy, you get they get more burn status. This is all about burn with her. Okay, and then regardless of what level she has, she'll recast her special ability at least once. That means every time she deals damage to you, she's going to also try and cast burn on you. And then this is what's interesting: if she recasts the second time, because you now have burn status, she'll deal 35% more damage the second hit. Okay, and then read on. On the 5th turn or higher, she's going to recast it twice, and on the 10th turn or higher, she's going to recast it 3 times. So by the time the fight goes to 10 turns, she's going to activate 4 times total, and she's going to have 4 chances to land burn on you. And if she kills an enemy in the meantime, that's another burn on you, and every burn status gives her 35% more damage against you. And on top of that, she also benefits from the increased attack and defense by 5% every 5 turns. So by the 10th turn, she's now got a 10% increase in her attack. She's got, she's going to be able to put 4 stacks of burn on you for a total of 140% more damage on you by the time that she hits you the 4th time. Okay, this is on the 10th turn. This is ridiculous, right? So when I read this, I was like, well, First thing I saw was that she's going to be a lure card replacement, but now I think she's just going to be purely my damage dealer all up. All right. So if you take a look at her loadout, I went all attack with her. So generally, with attackers, you saw I made a video before on how to gear damage dealers based on attack or defense. So you can see all attack for armor, all attack for boots, and then you focus on critical rate, critical damage, pump as much critical damage as you can. So that's what I put in for the gloves. All right. And also if you see attack, put it in there, right? Attack, damage, critical rate. Survivability is good as well. So if you can see some health, awesome. Okay. And then same thing here. I put in a cursed set because you do want to land burn. Burn is important. Okay. It's important to land burn. So you do want to make sure that you have some accuracy against really high, resistance heroes. 86% is nowhere near enough. So I will have to adjust a little bit, but I'm just trying to put more damage in there. Okay, so you can see my health is at almost 30,000, 191 critical damage. I wish I could get 85% or higher for a critical rate, but 82 is okay. For her gear loadout, for a relic loadout, I mean, the best, I've tested this out quite a bit. The best one for her is going to be the Golden Cyclone, much more so than the Murderous Frenzy. Because if you can get a Street Block on your team or others that can actually give you more positive stats, and she herself will land a lot of negative stats. She is going to also increase more damage. 3% for every positive stat, so that's an additional 30%, and then 3% for every negative stat, so another 30%. You can go up to another 60% damage on top of the ever-increasing attack, right? And so this outweighs the benefit of the 30% chance that you may cast it twice. So to me, this is one I think wins in general. Okay, I wouldn't say it's an outright win. I would say as the turns go longer, potentially, right, having that fifth hit could make a difference. But I just think that sort of, overall, you're going to get more damage just every time you activate using Golden Cyclone versus the potential 30% using Murderous Frenzy. So the numbers I saw was better for Golden Cyclone. Okay, so I spent a lot of time talking about this. Let's go ahead and show her in action now, and so I can show you what she's like. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into some random arena fights. I'm kind of low right now because I had dropped my defenses for the arena event so that people can get points, but we should be able to get going here. So what we're going to try and do is we're just going to try and get as much as possible the skills of Trekys so that she can actually go as much as possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this in here, and unfortunately we're probably going to end up seeing her in action on turn 5. Okay, so that's okay. We're going to see her in action in turn 5, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to go ahead and use her skill. So you can see she's going to hit twice, right? And then she actually kills an opponent. Now, if she hits the first time and then kills, I believe she actually retargets. So we'll see what happens on future turns. But you can see there's already 2 stacks of burn on the opponents here. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate afterwards. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to activate Scandix's ability so we can get increased increased defense. And then we're going to go ahead and again try and get Trkys to go. Right, so you see she kills an opponent. She kills an opponent, and then we landed more burn on them. Although we're not going to be able to take advantage of that because the burn is going to go down. But what we're going to do is we're going to be ending in turn 10. We're going to start turn 10 where you can actually activate her ability. So now let's go ahead and see what happens here on turn 10. Pay attention to her damage output. Okay, so the first time you'll see 11,000, and now it goes up to 14,000, and then because we didn't get the this is where critical rate becomes really important. We didn't actually get the number that we wanted to see, but it would have gone up. Okay, and keep in mind her attack continues to go up. We're now at 7503. Okay, and if we go up to turn 15, it's going to go up even more. So this is actually turning out to be a perfect sort of run for us so that we can actually see the number that we care about. And so we're going to do just that, okay? And we're not going to try and kill anyone here, okay? So I'm going to wait until turn 15 to actually activate her skill because I want to see what her stat is at this point. Okay, so no one is dead right now. And then if we take a look at her stats, she's now 7792. Okay, this is just insane, like how much like her attack is going up by. And so let's go ahead and activate her skill now. And you can see 16,000, and then she retargets, and then she hits 15,000, and then she hits for the 4 times 10,000 each. The amount of damage is reduced because we're up against Street Block. But you see 4 times, and look at how much burn is on Street Block right now. So we're just going to go ahead and take him out with our dragon. And so that is Trekys in action. Okay, so you can see as the turn goes on, her attack goes up, so her damage is going to go through the roof. Okay, I just wanted to show one more. This time having a hero that's going to be able to give Trekys increased attack and increased critical damage. So let's take a look and see if we can get this going as quickly as we can so that I can show you what I mean by this. Okay, so earlier the amount of damage that you saw were all based on having just, you know, her own attack, like no increased attack, no increased critical damage. But now we're going to actually give her an increased attack and damage. Unfortunately, we do lose it because of Haran. So we're just going to rebuild it back up. Not a problem. Let's go ahead and get this going here. The gem drop isn't as ideal, but we can actually get there now with this, which is perfect. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now, and we're on turn 6, so we should expect to activate 3 times. Okay, we have increased attack now, and with this, we're now at over 10,000 attack with 255% critical damage. And so we're going to go ahead and deal just, you know, a good amount of damage there. And we can go ahead and try this again. So let's go ahead and activate. I wanted to sort of see like how much damage we'll be able to do afterwards against the blue heroes after turn 10, okay? Because we're going to be able to go 10 times. So we're going to go ahead and activate here. Okay. So we're not going to activate just yet. We're going to wait one more turn. I mean, generally you probably don't want to be waiting turns, but in this case, you can actually take more, deal more damage. So again, we're going to activate this. And keep in mind, she also has more positive stats at this point, right? She's got the golden cyclone right now, and I want to see if I can get more on her. I don't want to take out the opponent, so I'm just going to go ahead and activate now. So let's see how much damage we deal. So 16,000, and then we move on, another 13,000, another 13,000. I would have hit one more time. Okay, so this is probably against a higher defense hero there, so that's why the amount of damage went low. But you can see, like, if you're able to just stack her bonus attack and bonus damage, her possibilities almost limitless in PvP or in PvE content. Okay, so super awesome hero. If you're gonna go for her, I don't think you're going to regret it. So, but between the two of them, Scandix and Trekys, you can't really go wrong with either of these two heroes. I think they're both great. So hopefully this has helped you sort of see them in action and decide for yourself whether this is something that you want to go after. Again, these are legendary heroes, so do expect that, you know, it is not going to be the easiest option to go for, but at least now you have all the information you have. Okay, so let me know what you think about the video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for your support, guys. I will see you in the next episode. Bye now.